Ta-da! Ayrton, Giulio here with María for Visionaries Unlimited. And today you'll get a deeper understanding, a closer look to how does to nurture, cultivate stability in your life, I'd say, but business looks like. What does it feel like? What is it all about? Like, why stability at all? Like last time we spoke about change, and this is what actually inspired the topic today. We were both thinking, and I thought last time was change. Let's do the opposite. So this is how we flow also. And how does it look like? A stable, visionary, innovative, which may sound almost as an opposite to stable sometimes, business. How does that look like? Is your business stable? Is your business visionary? I feel I'm kind of going towards a new topic here, kind of the balance of visionary and visionary, innovative, changing, and stable, solid, strong, long-lasting business. Maybe next time will be the balance in between the two. But
yeah,
how does that look like in your picture, like a very realistic picture, Maria? A stable business.
okay. To me, I think this one is a little bit more challenging. Well, the first thing that comes is the stability in yourself, in experiencing yourself, in who you are, and what is your vision about the impact that you want to create, or the work that you want to do in this world, in this life. Um, that's something that I think is the beginning of everything, and that needs to be stable. That's the thing that, from my perspective, should be nurtured all the time. And maybe I'm going back to our first video, Ayrton, where we talked about the connection between you and your vision. That for sure should be stable. And and then, of course, if from the human perspective, you set some goals and you want to get yourself somewhere in a certain period of time, you should also be stable in committing to these actions that would take you somewhere. And after a certain period of time that you have previously decided, you assess if these directions and these goals are still aligned with you and are bringing the results that you would have liked or desired for your vision at that moment. And if not, then you change direction. But for the time period, I would suggest that for the time period that you set a goal, that you stick to it. And then if it feels that it's too long, then the next goal that you set, you bring it to a shorter period of time, for example. And
yeah,
I'm sure that very successful entrepreneurs could give better advice. And I'm also sure that very successful entrepreneurs have very different visions of not visions in the way that you and I talk, very different perspectives on what is the best approach towards business in relation to goals and everything. So again, I think this is a case of trial and learning. I don't say any more trial and error. There's no error. There's just more knowledge and more wisdom that you gain along your way. So trial and learning of what is best for you and what is best for the business. And I think that will bring a feeling definitely of stability. And the last thing that comes to me, oh, you want to say something?
That I think so too. I mean, and then I would say that stability is not stillness. It's not that you're not doing anything. So
exactly. It's not that you're not moving,
learning,
or that you're not moving forward, or that you are not open. Stability, I would also say, requires good level of organization and order. And again, doesn't have to look like what ordinary organization meant to your parents, means to other successful entrepreneurs that you can be following or be inspired by anyone, of course. Uh, but in the end, it has to be something that fits you, that fits your mind, that fits your body, that fits your lifestyle, whether you have a family or not, the place where you live, is it the city or the countryside? Like everything doing with the vision requires some level of organization. But it's only you who can decide what your life and your business looks like when it's organized, when it's in order to a certain extent. And the rest, of course, we go back to change or we go back to chaos. And when I mean chaos, I mean it in the most positive way, as a cosmic aspect of existence, that you're always going to experience some form of chaos in the way that you cannot predict the future and you cannot control reality. But still, stability is something that I believe is important, and you have to define it yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful way of ending is there's so much that you brought to the table about stability, like so many pieces. Um, Definitely, it is very important. And that little thought note that I gave before you finished
Hmm.
was that is not stillness, is not doing nothing. A
Yeah.
business that is stable is steadily, consistently producing what it's producing, inspiring who's inspiring, and it's actually moving the whole time. And so that stability is a perceived element of your business, and it embraces the fact that things change, as we said last time, and it embraces the fact that it needs you to have an understanding of where is it compared to where it's going, knowing that where it's going can change, and where you're at, of course, will change, like progressing, or in the worst case scenario, walking backward, but still, it will not always be where it is at. And where you're going might change, but that should be a very solid piece of the vision and the goals, whether they are medium, short, or long-term goals. You have that stability, meaning that you feel centered in the direction you're going. You feel you're expressing, almost expressing backward, like um, walking backward from the vision, from that goal, from what you want to achieve, your mission in your business. You are understanding everything that is on the way, or you're willing to welcome what's coming, but you're still there. You're still centered. That's a word
Hmm.
that came as a
Yes.
synonym. Centered is stable. You are not stable. Take it physically, somatically, physically. You're not stable if you're not centered in on your body center. It's called, at least in Italian and Neo-Latin languages, actually baricentro, like the body center, the actual core line that talks to your equilibrium and balance. So you need to be centered. You need to be aware of it. Your values, what defines you, what you stand for, and look at that. It comes back to standing, and that's when you can stand. When you know what you're standing for, you can stand. You can receive the hits of life, business, entrepreneurship, and you can receive the encouragements and pushes of life, business, entrepreneurship. Stability is required together with change. This is what I come up with now. In other words, I might have said that somewhere else. Actually, the stability is required together with change. They go hand in hand. They support each other in what I call, and what I like to call, a very compassionate collaboration. More stability will bring faster change, and change is not denying stability to exist. So this is what comes up. This is what comes up for me. How are you marrying those two? Would be my question for you then. How are you marrying stability, or anyways cultivating your stability, while riding the waves, riding the change? You got something, Maria, to this?
Yes. So another reflection, a way to put it, is that I was thinking that some people may experience the word stability as too slow, for example, and some others may just love it because they feel that that's how they want to experience their lives. And some people in a way want to go fast, and some others want to go slow without no one being better or worse, or without no one actually being able to judge that. But so, like we said, on a human level, we need to compare things so as to understand them and to define them. Like stable could also be, from a very mature, wise perspective, as a sustainable growth. When you're actually in your plans, there is room for innovation, there is room for openness, and there is room for change. The fact that you are stable means that you are, from my perspective, sustainably growing, or it can be looked that way. But that's very positive. I mean, I believe that most conscious entrepreneurs are desiring to grow sustainably, um, with themselves, and with the planet, with the resources, and everything. So that's one way to put it, that you find the way of growing at a pace that feels natural and feels comfortable to you, even if it's still challenging, even if it, of course, is going to mean to some extent you coming out of your comfort zone, but still that you feel, like Ayrton said, kind of centered, growing in a way where you feel that you are not lost, that you are not adrift, um, unless you feel super comfortable in living so much at the edge of reality. That's actually how you feel kind of your stability is really flowing at a very extreme way with reality, with the universe. And something else that came to me is, and Ayrton and I have already talked in other videos, is like when we talked about the aspects of the main aspects of existence, which are creation, maintenance, and destruction, the one that I feel is more connected to stability is maintenance. In nurturing something that you have already created and you don't want to destroy, or you don't want it to disappear, you need to find some form of balance and stability for it to continue in time, in space-time reality. So you need to nurture it, and you need to know what it needs from you. So that's like a beautiful relationship, like that. Again, we can see our business as our child. What is the business asking from me for it to keep on being alive and for it to keep on growing in a beautiful manner? So I need to nurture it. How? What is the business asking from me? And given the social circumstances of where I live, or what I do, or the industry that I am part of, not to be limited by them, but also to have them into account to some extent. So yeah, to me that's like proper maintenance, or something that we have already created, and we find and to find identify our gifts and how we can best keep it alive and keep it alive and kicking.
Okay, I went mute. So
Oh, but did you hear everything that I said?
yeah, I heard.
Okay, okay.
I tried speaking and I was muted.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
This aspect of maintenance is a very empowering for a business topic. And the interesting part is that today's world doesn't really encourage maintenance, as it encourages a very fast pace for everything we do, for everything we experience. It's, you buy a t-shirt nowadays, and there's this fast fashion trend, fast fashion industry, and while originally, according to nature, there would be 4 seasons, Zara has pushed for many years, and I have no idea if they still do, an 11, 12, 13 seasons per year. So that would change and transform everything they do for those many times. But I don't know if I am still hearable, visible in reality, if I am frozen. I'm not sure. Maybe it's Maria that's frozen. I'll keep it going. Indeed. So we lost Maria. I will stay on track and wait for her to come back. What happens here is that we're pushed, we're asked to continuously give birth to something new. One of the 3 aspects is the one of creation. One of the 3 aspects is the one of birth, of expression, of coming out with something new. And that implies that there's need for space. So we might go into distraction too early. We might abort a project too early compared to what it deserved. It deserved more maintenance. It deserved more care. It deserved more space for it to emerge at the next level of what it can do. We need patience. We need to be centered. We need to truly breathe into our creation, breathe life into our creations. Maria's back now. Welcome back.
Okay, so the phone got too hot because the sun was moving. When I said it, it was not on the camera, and the phone just told me.
I should have told you that's the problem when you're outside.
Yeah.
I opened it, like, if you do it under the sun, the phone will get hot. Well, it's a hot conversation, guys.
Exactly.
It's great.
Instead of shit happens, heat happens.
Heat happens. Yeah, heat happens. Absolutely does.
Okay, so continue.
I continued, and what I was sharing with our visionaries is that there is the fact that society is pushing us forward at a pace that it's not our natural pace. Zara does 11 seasons, up to 13 seasons per year of their clothing. It changes the clothing 13 times. And people get bored very fast and buys new ones, and it gets compulsive. As compulsive it is scrolling up and down through socials, as it is to create a business, get the business, sell the business, create the business, sell the business, scale the business, all these things for the sake of speed, the speed of things. Now, not getting into that too specifically, but this was the message. We need the patience. We need to breathe into the life of our project. We need to take it easy with that, long enough for it to come to life, to be birthed. And that's also a stability in the not happening in a way. And it's very powerful how you see how things evolve. As you stay there, it might not come out now, it comes out in a year from now, but that still is. And that has stability in alignment with the vision in a way, and that center. So I was, yeah, I went here to remark the actual importance of the stability in the business. And it requires ours in a way to understand that we're not what society is saying to run. There's no rush for it to happen. And if it is, and for it to happen, it means it may be the beginning of the business, it might be the medium stages of the business, it might be the ultimate scaling of the business. But the expression of it still will take its time. And normally it will feel slow. As Maria said, as you said, Maria, it will very often feel slow. Most of the times, in my own experience, it feels slower than it should.
Me too.
And many times it rides. And it seems that I can't really control that. So why to worry? I'll stay stable, centered, observing, loving, and keep on nurturing. Keep on breathing life. This is my take on stability when it comes to change, and how stability brings change forth. A better change. Do we want a good change? So let's stay centered. Let's stay stable. Let's cultivate stability in ourselves, because that translates into our business. And a good, stable business is good for the world. And here it comes to you, my dear visionaries.
Yeah.
What's the good you want to do in the world? How do you bring stability so that it accelerates change? Go slow to go fast. I believe there's a book that goes this way. Go slow to go fast. Or think fast and slow. Something like this, one of the two, or maybe both. But this concept is not mine. Just they go together, hand in hand.
Yes, I think that society, in general, humanity at this point is experiencing an extreme as compared to the previous century and previous centuries in general, where things didn't change much. Most people had the same partner for the whole life and had the same business, were working for the same company, had the same habits. And now we live in a world that's very, very different to that, at least in half of the world, where we're constantly changing, and that's wonderful, because so is the universe. But most times we're not changing because we're properly flowing with the universe, but because we are escaping the present moment, because we have not learned yet how to experience also the component of slow motion that life has. While it's changing, there's still some elements that they're just there, and that you just need to breathe into them and to accept that they have that appearance, and that it's not going to change from now and for tomorrow. And and that some things just take their time. Like we've also said this before. I may want to have a baby in 3 months, but that's not going to happen. And I'm not going to have a proper baby in 3 months. So it takes nature 9 months, or at least 8 months, to produce a healthy child. And if I don't understand the some rhythms and some timings that are natural, then I'm going to be contradicting, um, like pushing against reality in a way that is going to be harmful to me. So the stability is quite also, um, mastering the flow of life, meaning the change, but also understanding that some variations of those changes and the flow with life are so subtle that to your human eyes may not be perceptible, and there's change. There's change in our bodies. There's constant change in our mind. Everyone else around us, and in nature. So you cannot see, if you look at a flower, you cannot see how it's changing. It's only when you record it and put it in fast motion that you can see how it changes. So that's something that we need to learn. When things we think they're not changing or they're not going fast enough, they're actually changing, but not to the speed or taking the form that we want. And here is where I believe that humans need to learn, myself included, to breathe, to breathe and really see that things are changing at their own pace. And that's also a form of looking at, stability. So you look at the at this world, it's completely stable, and at the same time, it's completely chaotic, and it's unpredictable of what is going to happen, um, any moment. So yeah, I don't know if I went a little bit out, of
No,
the topic here. No, okay, okay.
no. You're in the flow. I see.
Mm,
Um, you were not absolutely out of topic. That is the work. That is the work and some of the context of our society that used to change at a generational rate of 20 years per generation. Now they consider new generations being every 5 years because they're radically different, because society changes faster.
mhm,
And to be stable, there's need for inner work,
mm,
and these will necessarily create good stuff, bring up and about good stuff. It's at the very end, like, okay, we have this visionary business, we have these visionary businesses, and we need to make sure that they feel good. If your business were a person, and while I was writing, I was actually writing, can I coach my business? I mean, can I personify my business and coach my business? And by coach, I don't mean that kind of coaching. Oh, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's get there. Like, you can do it. That's for granted. Of course you can do it. No, I didn't mean this like this way, but I went this with this, because it's, yes, it can do it. The business I'm talking about, like your business is a person. It's possible. Okay, we live in these unlimited possibilities. We stand
mhm.
for visionaries. We stand for unlimited possibilities. It's possible. If I coach my business, what does it need to feel good? What does it need to emerge in its true and most powerful, beautiful expression of itself, of him, herself? Call your business a him or a
Mhm.
her, as you prefer.
If you want to, yeah.
I also made the rhyme here. Um, if you coach your business, if you stay there and hold space, dearly, compassionately, lovingly to your business, you ask, what do you need right now to feel good? And you see that it's changing. Now, as I said, personify your business. I did it on purpose because a person doesn't solve a behavioral pattern in a day. No matter how much rapid transformational therapy and hypnosis and mind-blowing kind of things do for that person, ayahuasca ceremonies, whatever, it can hit so strong that the person's like, okay, I'm changing my life now, and it starts acting different, though the actual results of that change will take time. Ayahuasca ceremony gets you these insights of like, oh my God, yeah, now I know I'm here. And so you start doing that, though there's still the habits which are built in your body, though there's still the beliefs and mindset and habits, I'm repeating myself, that you perform every day. And the people will still treat you the same way of before until you get them to understand that you were a different person. Now, talking about you, but because I want to talk about the business. You're coaching your business to be stable, to feel good, to be a functional, happy, joyful human being. And it takes time. And when you breathe and have patience and F society that said you have 10 years to do that. No. You have your life to bring about your visionary vision, your visionary impact, your impactful vision. Take it easy. Breathe through it. I'm using slogans here. Just do it. They're just coming now into this phase probably.
But do it consciously.
Do it consciously. Yeah, just do it and do it consciously. I mean, it's kind of, let's add this kind of underline, silver lining. Absolutely, I love it because I love it. I mean, it's not implied in any of the previous ones, right? How do you want to leave our people, our beautiful visionaries here?
Our dear visionaries, create your own concept of stability. Find the proper connection between you and your business. You can do that energetically, and make sure that it grows at a pace that feels good to you. Because again, if there is suffering in our process of in our experience of being entrepreneurs, conscious entrepreneurs, as we may be defining ourselves to others or internally, if there is suffering, there is not so much consciousness. It doesn't matter whether we're working on protecting the oceans or empowering women. All of this to society has already the conscious label attached. But if we are suffering along the way because we need to be there, or we need to be better than others, and we need to have these results by this year, or anything of that sort, if in achieving these goals and having this impact, there is and neediness and there is suffering in us, there is not such conscious impact that we're doing. And the conscious impact cannot come through our unconscious patterns being active. And of course, we're going to have some, but it's important to remind ourselves that the impact, being conscious, cannot be more important than us being conscious in trying to bring this conscious impact. I hope that I explained myself well, and that's how I want to end it. And enjoy your stability, however it looks to you.
So my dearest, keep in mind stability. Remember, change and stability are not opposites, but they go hand in hand. Stay visionary.